Real 92.3 Bootleg Kev DJ Hed,
West
man.
Coast.
The
Yeah,
legend.
we here, baby.
50 is in the building.
Happy
Hey.
to be here too.
Yes, sir, man. The Power's new season is here.
Yeah,
He got the power ring on and shit.
Yeah, I just did
That's
that.
chunky.
I just directed for the first time.
I saw episode 3, right?
Yeah, episode 603. I'm proud of it. Everybody
big.
responded well to it, so I feel good about it.
Yeah.
Lorenz
Yeah, it was
Tate in
different
there
'cause
serving
he
up the
got
back
his sex
shots.
scene, yeah. It was an awkward scene too for him because he had dialogue in the sex scene. Like, usually you're just doing a little groaning, mutton and groaning, but he had stuff that he had to remember and say it.
So during the sex scene, being our director, take us behind the scenes a little, because I always wonder, like, the dudes like pause, obviously, you know what I'm saying, no homo, but like, a lot of these actresses,
covered up,
yeah, they covered up. Okay, okay,
Yeah, but
that's
it would kind of be hard to keep it together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But at points, there's like the scene specifically, I had opened up on her hand because she's married.
Got you.
And she's actually in control of
the situation.
the sex scene. Like she's doing that. It's on her merit.
She's the boss.
That is taking place. You know what I'm saying? So Lorenz, like, why he's doing what he's doing, and she tells him, answer the phone. Like, to answer the phone. So he's answering it, but he just doesn't
He's still
stop.
getting it. Yep.
You know what I mean? But it's an interesting scene. Like, I felt like Lorenz, I wanted him to do that bad because he hadn't done that.
He hadn't done that, yeah.
Yeah, like he did Love Jones and all that. He pull up with the fly joint, sexy girl at the time, and Lorenz would be there with her, and it'll feel like something sexy is going on, but it's not really like much sexy. It's not the same vulnerability of what we did.
Yo, what I like is how you kind of are ending the chapter, because I feel like all the great shows ended 5 seasons. The Wire, Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
And then I know you're extending it with Power Book 2.
And he might be biased to the number 5.
yeah, look. And this is season 6 right now.
Or season 6, yeah.
603, so we're going to 6.5 because it's 15. It's an extended season. So due to the 10, and then there's 5 additional episodes that they'll catch, and then Power Book 2 starts 48 hours after the finale. So
Gotcha.
48 hours later,
That's where the
comes
story
back.
picks up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of see you setting up a little cartel with Tariq and the little white boy and the girl now. Is that something? Is the girl Tasha?
No, not Tasha at that point, but
She's gonna be Tasha.
well, it looks like that from a child perspective, because they're younger. She's already involved and already having an understanding of what Tariq is doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then his partner, boy, is in his roommate, happens to be a white guy too, like Tommy.
Right.
And so it feels like you're rebuilding Tariq's version of it, but their journey is completely different because Tommy and Ghost didn't have nothing in the hood.
Something I always wanted to ask you about too, because I'm a fan of the show. Obviously, I keep up with I watch it. But like, what happened to the little daughter when all the focus was on Raina and Tariq? Like, where the fuck was the little daughter at?
She always goes to her grandmother's.
Okay. Okay.
So she goes like,
Because I know, like, she would be there, and then she, like, where's the baby at, though?
yeah,
like,
they always take her to her grandma.
Who's
Okay.
got the baby?
Okay.
Look, if your mother and your father are big drug dealers, they usually drop you off.
Drop
you
you
gotta
off,
drop
okay.
them off somewhere.
Okay,
That's
all
fair.
right.
That's fair, man. And then I know you've been working on the meat shit, the BMF
The
shit.
BMF, yeah. That one's up next. That's I think they're like, it's one last script that's being finished on that, and then we'll go straight to casting.
That's it.
And it's ready to go up.
Are you gonna like try to depict some of these legendary parties that we've heard about?
That's gonna happen, but look, I felt like it was important to show the origin story,
So it's gonna start from like how it started.
how it started,
Got you.
so they can understand what's going on in pieces, really understand their journey versus it being. I could have stayed in Atlanta
Mm-hmm.
and did 6 seasons of them at the highest point,
Right.
but then when you see them go down, you go, good for them.
Mm-hmm.
Because all you saw was them
All you see is them on top.
up. Yeah, you don't see how
You see the come up. You
how
root
they
for them.
progressed into that lifestyle,
Right.
and stayed into it.
Yeah, I saw you say that nobody has sympathy for the winners.
That's right.
And I think
That's
like
fair.
the way the story is, like the way you just described it, I
Right.
feel like we get invested in it. Because I remember seeing I noticed you like in your bag for real on some production shit and some directing shit because I remember seeing James Cameron. He directed Titanic, the movie, and he said that he could have focused the whole movie on the actual ship sinking, but you wouldn't give a fuck.
Right.
So I focused on 2 characters, and now you invested emotionally, and then you know kill one off.
That's real. That's like even in the beginning when you see them in under circumstances where they don't have a lot,
right?
And then you understand, you can identify with why those feelings, even if you have more than they had at that point. Because you can identify with having finances be your biggest restraint. And then when they go to start to grow and do different things, the journey, the things you go through make you who you are.
Right.
In order for them to have a full understanding of, like with Meech and T experience has been, they got to see this like this.
Yeah. Have you had any contact with him? Like with the you've been talking?
There's no story that has more confusion that
than his
around it than BMF.
Right.
That's fair.
Because it's so many people. Like you got a guy, he was the driver. Now he's doing a documentary, writing a book, and doing this.
Yeah, everybody's got their own angle of
a version of that small portion that they were involved in very minor areas. They feel like they are BMF.
Yeah.
The whole thing. So.
Are there any TV shows on right now that you're fucking with outside of your own? Like I just got into Snowfall. I don't know if there's any. Are you binge watching shit?
You know, I do. I try to look. I'm trying to get into what's the name. I think Snowfall was really Freeway Rick's story.
Yeah.
Yep.
Minus Freeway Rick.
Yep.
You know, they did some sucker shit to him, but you know, it's cool. I don't want to like it
because of that. I feel you.
I feel
that. What I'm saying, like, they really kind of jerked him out of.
That's fair. I do have to thank you face to face, man. My name is Bootleg Kev, and it was strictly because
you stole shit.
I mean,
he sold a lot of your CDs.
Let me tell you something, man. G-Unit Radio helped feed my baby, bro. All of them.
He said, I fed my baby on that job.
And you know, I told this to Chuck. You know, the documentary. I sold a lot of documentaries early. You know,
early on. Yeah, yo, look. When you say at that point, it was like you had to have something specifically with you to record something. Like if you see a guy with a camera, look, that camera is like the size of a tourist would have that around there.
Right.
And the only difference is going to be the glass you put in front of it.
Right.
What lens you put on top of it. Because it can shoot that quality.
Yeah.
Now, look, right now, Canon and Nikon, they was competing with each other, and they should have been watching Apple.
True.
Facts.
Because now the phone is recording everything, and you can't control it. It's like everybody's there like, yo, everything's on tape.
Facts.
Based on that. You know what I'm saying? So you would be that person if you saw them with a camera. They're not a tourist. They are a photographer.
That's true.
Only a photographer's going to carry a camera.
Only photographer's going to have a big-ass camera. Otherwise, you just go use your phone.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Hey, I want to know how, in the midst of you having 9,000 TV shows and deals and shit, you managed to throw parties. And you know, to tycoon shit, I want to be invited. I'm on Renee Head about that, but like, is it your goal to make something like the like a traveling party, or is it something?
It's a Freaknik on wheels.
Okay,
nice.
Okay,
it's the Freaknik. You know what I mean? Like, but we took it from. We did it in Atlanta first. Actually, that was Ant the Ladies Man. That's his thing. Like,
yeah,
he did the Atlanta show, and then we all had the after party at Compound, and then the following day we had the pool party.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, we got to take this to New York because we had so much fun. And the difference is what made it cooler was they seen us interacting. Like, they saw me in a hotel taping the tray and running around and doing different stuff. And they're like, yo, it's giving them a look at what was going on the entire time, but they never saw that before. And then people were more into it than usual because of that. And then I said, yo, let's bring it to New York. And what better time to do that than around the premiere?
Right.
So we did it. The 3,000 people at the pool party, no incidents, no nothing. And in Jersey, Barcode and stuff like that. We went to Pier 115 and Slate. Like, we had, like, it was like a itinerary. This is what we're doing this weekend.
Oh, so it's all laid out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
it seemed like it was just madness, but it was organized chaos.
It was. Like, everybody knew we here, then we here, then we're gonna go here tomorrow night, and then we're gonna be over here.
Okay.
And it's like, while we was hitting those spots, if you couldn't, like, if you didn't make it to the pool party, you could pick which nightlife location you gonna make it to, and we all there.
Got you.
You know, we talked about people not wanting to see winners win. you know, obviously Get Rich or Die Trying was, in my opinion, top 2 hip hop album of all time. I feel like The Massacre's up there with it though, but I feel like how is The Massacre so slept on?
Look at this. That record,
as many times platinum as it is.
They're only gonna give you one. They're only gonna give you
Baltimore
one.
Love
They only gonna give you one.
Ski Mask Way, like come on,
that
man.
makes sense.
They're only gonna give you one.
But that
because
shit
look,
was.
Look at this. Look, and if Jay-Z, they're gonna say Reasonable Doubt. Nas, they're gonna say Illmatic. They're all gonna give you that first album and go, okay, you don't get a second chance at the first impression. So it is intense when they go, yo, it's all the way right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then they go, yo, he's dope because it's just really a lot of people turned on to it for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
If they hadn't heard all of those unit radio,
Right.
and all that.
Well, Guess Who's
like,
Back?
Yo, he's dope. Like, and they missed, you know how much music they missed?
Facts.
Just the stuff that you was putting out for promotional purposes, they just keep
50 Cent is the future, man.
Yeah, like all that stuff. Like a lot of people miss that because when I take things from there now and put them behind the little lifestyle videos, and they're like, "Yo, oh, we got new music," and I'm looking, going, "No, you
this shit
missed
is
it.
old. You must not be tapped in.
You missed it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all, and that's all it means." And I'm like, "It's cool." Like, look, you say, I got 2 albums that went diamond, and 2 albums I sold over 10 million records in those albums, and you had to be Tupac. Do All Eyes on Me, have a double CD, and die to do that.
And a classic group album, Beg for Mercy, is fucking incredible.
Yeah, that one worked.
That shit was incredible.
And it's happening in a time period I put them before my next album.
Yep.
And this Scope didn't want a fucking G-Unit album. They wanted the next 50 Cent record. You
Right.
crazy?
Right.
And I was like, yo, nah, I have to do this. Like,
Of course, man.
so I could build them up and get them into position. Like there was a point like the St. Lunatics because Nelly had a huge album.
Yeah.
The St. Lunatics, there was guys in the actual crew that I didn't know all of their names.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then D12, there was points that I didn't know everybody, but they didn't come into the second album. After that second album, so it was clear who the lead was.
Yeah,
and it firmed up who M was on that second record.
And to be fair, Banks was doing shit in the streets that none of those guys were doing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
now look, if you go look at this, look, he is a talented rapper, right? But he needed them around.
He needed you to be his Paul Heyman. I don't know if
you needed them around.
The voice box.
Yeah.
Because if there's no circle around, then the things that he said, he wouldn't have said those things.
No, I agree. Yeah.
And it would have never been what's the name? Like, because as an artist, he was drawing from them.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it wouldn't have worked out the same way.
I'm seeing the emergence of like hella groups coming back, and you being no stranger to that. Like, what do you feel like is the number one thing that breaks crews apart in the game?
It depends.
Or it falls apart.
Well, it's the individuals, because sometimes people want more than you can give them.
That's fair.
You know, I'd like for all of them to be huge talents at this point. They would be a part of my legacy if they were. You know what I'm saying? And sustain an additional reason why people say, nah, 50 is L.
Do you feel like maybe you enabled them too much?
But there's no way to not help. Like you're gonna help out if you can do it. Like, look, the records did better because of my association.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you do 3 million records on the album, okay, you did good.
That's a fact.
You know, like the album, if I'm doing 13 million and you do 3, we did good.
I mean, and like to be fair, like even like, you know, Hunger for More, like On Fire was like the biggest single, and you're on that record, and you know, same thing with the Thoughts of a Predicate Felon, So Sophisticated
documentary.
Look, you could point to people who operate like business people. It's not wrong. Like Jay won't be on those records.
Right.
Not because it's not his job to actually make this artist a success. It's his job to be the label at that point.
I got you. It was
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and then when I'll take them on the road, have them too close, and I say have them too close, because I bring them on stage in front of the audience that did not come to see you tonight. They came to see 50 Cent. And the guys start to feel like they're familiar with that many people coming because they've been on those stages and did that. But
entitlement.
You never did it. You never made it there.
That's fair.
That's fair. I think. Go ahead.
I was gonna say one of the biggest like what ifs in hip hop that I always like. Man, what if the Game 50 shit didn't happen when it happened? Because I feel like there was at least a 5-year run together with y'all like at that point in time. And I know it was 2 or 3 years ago. I saw a picture of you guys together.
That was when the Game thing happened. It was the most unexpected thing.
Okay.
Like, cause I had only worked with Game for 4 days, and
For real?
Knocked all those records out.
Oh, okay. Back to
because
boom.
I had did the records.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? So when we came to the crib, we recorded, but he had spent like a year in the recording studio with Dre. So it was like Dre's thing that I was just putting around. It was like in that stage at that where he was at as an artist, he was a talented rap artist. He just wasn't a great songwriter at that point.
Makes sense.
So if you took the production, you had a hit record, like, and you just let him rap, he gonna knock it out the park.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be no problem once it's formatted and set up. So away from that, that would just say that artist required good A&R. And that climate. If you had a good A&R, finding the right track, and
Right
person.
You got the story, you got the image. You know, he can rap his ass off.
He can keep doing it. You know what I mean? And
did you guys like when you guys? Because like I said, when I saw you guys take that flick together, I thought that was big, man. Like, is that? I know you're not really in like music isn't the main focus, but would there ever be a scenario in which you and Game make music together again?
I don't know. Like I don't know what he's doing.
And he's working on an album, Born to Rap.
Oh, right. I didn't even know he was doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm all over the place.
Doing it.
I know you ain't. You know, I just think that'd be legendary from a fan's perspective. You know what I'm saying? That's one of those things. I'm like, man, if Game and 50 hopped on a record again together, it'd be legendary.
I want to know from your perspective, how many people specifically owe you money? Just guess. Just take a number. Just give me a number.
Oh man, you know, just lifestyle.
I owe you some money because I was bootlegging your shit. You know what I'm saying?
Don't worry, we'll figure it out.
We had Fat Boy up here, and he said you owe him some money for something he did on some content he did for you, and then he said you actually looked out for him. He gave you a lot of props.
You know what I did? I put him on 50 Central on BET.
50 Central. That's exactly what he said. Yeah,
we did that, and then. Like I like when I see people get out and carve something out for themselves. Like, you know, like I don't care if it's online or where it is, as long as it exists and it starts to surface where people can see it.
Yeah,
work, just keep working. And his was more a personality thing because the first time I saw him, he was doing this fitness thing and he didn't want to work out. Like he had a temper towards the person
right, trying to get him to work out.
And I was like, yo,
that's just funny.
It was funny, like, you know what I mean, like. And I kept running into these guys like all the time. I see him, they got jewelry on and stuff like that. And I'm like, yo, what this jewelry for, man? I mean, everybody getting indicted, but you. And you keep coming in here with new jewelry. I know you're not, like, you don't got no songs, so you're not doing shows. And he's like, yo, why you say that? You know what I'm saying? But it's funny, man. We have fun.
What's your current, what's the current status of the relationship with M? You know, I know M's been super active the last couple of years.
Yeah, I fuck with M regardless. That's like, he's the reason why I'm here.
M's the guy who brought you to the party, right, with Dre.
Right. I was working hard already. I was conditioned.
Mm-hmm.
Just being bumped around.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when there's no artist development anymore.
None.
You know what I mean? So a guy, it could be a tragedy if your first record is a hit record.
Facts. I think that's the biggest problem.
What happens is if that song happens right away and you go,
especially if it's huge, like
and then you run around and you doing everything else and you like, yo, and you feel like you got it because you feel like you got it because you did write the record.
Mm-hmm.
You did do the song and everything, and then you get back and you get in the studio, and you don't have a clue where to start to make the next hit record.
Right.
And it happens. That's happening a lot more often because the artists meet the audience before they meet the record company.
That's true.
You got a lot of business ventures. Obviously, television is the main focus right now. But would you ever do anything like, you know, what Jay is doing with the NFL? Would you ever do something with the NBA? Like any things like that?
No, maybe if it came up.
Yeah.
You know,
it's not something you're looking at.
Yeah.
Because I know what Cube is doing with the Big Three is like huge for the community, you know what I'm saying? For the culture.
Yeah, that was a move. Like he was far out in front. Like, look how long he's been involved.
Yeah.
In the season. When you look at Ice Cube, who do you see? Do you see Ice Cube or do you see the guy from All the Way There Yet?
Man, that's a good question.
Hey, I'm from LA. I see Ice Cube.
I mean, I see Ice Cube because I'm old, but like my son definitely sees the guy from All the Way There.
For sure.
You know,
for sure.
My son's 13 and he did it. he knows Ice Cube is in the NWA because he watched Straight Outta Compton, the movie. Outside of that,
That's it.
He's like, wait, Dad, he's in NWA?
Because he's had a long enough career. And I mean, like, it's...
And that's a good thing. That's a good problem to have.
What?
That's great.
Just give me that problem.
Come on, man.
You just launched your new liquor, obviously. Yeah. When you launch a liquor, right? Do you intentionally go after the competitor?
No. This time there was no direct competitor.
I know that.
Yeah.
That's why I don't see no dust being kicked up.
That was it.
But
me and Puff, because we had the same product. Yeah, it's a competing product.
Okay. All right.
So we got to compete at that point. But then when Neffin is no longer my focus, then I just
kick back.
Yeah, we don't have no.
Who you think is more petty than you online? Is there anybody
petty?
Is there anybody more petty than 50 Cent?
You have to define petty to me.
I don't think there's anybody, man.
I'm gonna read you the actual definition of petty. Okay. And then you tell me if you feel like there's anybody more petty than you online. Okay? I'm going to read the actual Google definition.
I'm just trying to figure out what petty is.
All right. Shout out to Fifth, though, man.
Petty is of little importance, trivial, secondary or lesser importance, rank or scale or minor. That's the actual definition on.
I don't even know what that means, man.
That's the actual definition. I just read you the definition. We all know what petty means, though, in the culture. I feel like there's nobody competing with you for the crown of being petty online.
You mean I have a strong personality?
Yo, shout out to Jim Jones. But when you and Jim Jones went at it, I felt so bad for him, man.
But Jim is cool.
He's
man.
a great guy. Great guy.
Look at how things died down. Nobody was talking about Jim until look, we bringing him up now. Jim's back in the bowl. I put you back on, baby. You back on, baby. Now you got to look at this the right way. Now, when the last time we was talking about Jim? Yeah, it was a while ago, man.
Well, I mean, I do want to be fair. Jim's dropped a couple dope albums over the last couple of years, so shout out to Jim.
It's been quiet, man. Crickets.
Yo, the one thing that I've loved.
That's what I'm talking about.
No,
that's what I'm talking about, Phil.
Look, if you're moving off of one category or area to develop another, because we know that you need to stay in power. Like you're not gonna look. Who's from hip hop as a genre of music produced television?
Nobody. Television, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So then I'll be the first over there.
True.
Cool.
True.
I worked on it. I stopped. We created Power with Courtney Kemp, and we built it and I had to do all of the marketing to the beginning. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't know who
you had to make everybody believers, man.
Right.
That's a fact.
So this is why it's so clear that it's the 50 Cent show. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that. I don't have to say that ever again in any interview at any point, and you still feel that way because you remember where you heard to check it out from.
Even though Kanan is dead.
Yeah, Kanan gone.
Okay.
R.I.P. Fifth, I know you just recently said we're talking about the Jim Jones thing and you being petty, but I know you just said something about Ross not being relevant enough to do music with. Well, he just dropped the album and it's the #1 album on the hip hop chart, and he just dropped a book. How many
did it sell, man? #1, come on.
I'm just saying.
What week was it?
I don't know the numbers.
Some weeks just 10 fucking.
Would there ever be a point in time where you could put the Ross thing behind you?
Come on.
10 purchases make you #1?
Yeah, depending on what week it is.
Damn.
So that doesn't mean nothing in today's climate.
Come on, man. Tell me what the numbers.
Is there anything about Ross and his career that you have any respect for?
No, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. I never wanted to work with him. Like, I understand from a perspective of someone who's just listening to what it sounds like.
Hey, I mean, he's a great rapper.
Right, but does it matter that he's a correctional officer? Does that ever matter? Does it matter? Even when artists look at the irony of the artists that come under him.
So Meek,
right?
Wale,
prison reform, and all of the wrongfully convicted and wrongfully treated people in the prison system.
I see where you're going.
While he's on the whole other side of that.
I see where you're going.
So look at it, and I mean, I'm sure you gonna buy the new Tekashi 6ix9ine song.
Definitely not. Definitely not. No, I'm
as long as he says the cool line.
Has Tekashi reached out to you at all?
No, but I'm just saying to you.
Okay.
Nah, I don't fuck with 6ix9ine. I've never
people who not assessing what just happened.
Right.
Should just listen to the record. They're gonna just listen to the record, and they'll continue to support or vibe with them based on just not having an understanding of what just happened.
All right, so let me ask you this. Is 50 Cent able to separate the artist from the music? Or is it all encompassing?
The person from the music.
Is it all together, or can you separate it?
What you mean, the person who made the music?
Yes.
Like, can you still listen to R. Kelly, knowing what we know about
I
him?
have a hard time with different things. Like even
For me, like I'm like that with Michael Jackson. I'm like, even if there's a chance that shit is true,
Michael Jackson, like the various people like that. Can you separate?
Certain things. There's so much power around the material that he created, like with Mike, that you may feel that way because you're conscious of it at the present moment, but you will hear that song come on and forget how you felt.
That's a fact.
True.
Because it just
In the right setting,
so
of course.
right. Like it feels so good. It was in this undeniable, timeless music. Right?
So could the same be said about like a 6ix9ine situation? Can you separate the music?
I don't know what he writes about.
Where he gets it, where to get that.
Look what the content was, the music that he created,
Mhm.
right? So I don't even know if he knows
What he was rapping about.
what he rap about if it's not that.
Got you.
Mm.
You know, that's like telling an artist that are in different worlds apart that they have to make a different kind of record. That's like saying you could have made a hardcore. Who could we use? Look at NBA YoungBoy.
Okay.
And tell him he has to be Kendrick Lamar.
Mm.
Or MOP.
Right.
Like,
Took the extreme difference.
like y'all got to be Gangstar now.
And the artists in their lyrical content
Mm.
and said you got to write this kind of record, and it has to be a hit.
Damn.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's not. It's a huge transition. It's a huge leap from one side to another side. If that's the.
That makes sense. That makes sense, man.
Okay.
Well, yo, are you gonna get back in your music bag and focus on a new album at any point in time? Or I mean, I know Power's taking up a lot of time and all the TV shit.
No, but it's time for me to make music. I think, like as I started, working on some different things, some different ideas and stuff.
Not another Power intro though.
No, but that Power intro was good.
Okay, I'm not saying it wasn't good.
It was
Glad
solid.
you segued into that.
It was solid.
First of all,
I didn't have a problem with it personally.
Record, look, when that record comes, you go, let me hear it. Okay, I see what he just did, and it feels like we could party to this a little bit more. It's a little more light spirited, right? And it got the tempos very similar, but the drums sequenced in a way that makes you feel like you could party to it.
Right.
A little more. And then it's me, Trey, and A Boogie, which is now.
Okay.
Versus
Joe.
Me and Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then because this is younger, the trending younger, the concept. So now look, when I was with Joe, I was trying to make a vintage feel of a record. I was
it was
to Lou Rawls and Dead End Street and all this other stuff. So I'm like, yo, this is how I gotta feel. This is why the production came out the way it is. Because I'm telling I need to hear the what's the name, the horns in it. Because I'm getting ready to make references to taxi cabs and different things that you saw that in the taxi show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I need that to play to match this. And then when we do it, knock the record out. These people reject the record from me. They just needed something to do.
They were bored, man.
That record was not a bad record.
It's not a bad record.
People, no, they just needed something.
They needed something to troll online.
Okay, would you have changed the song if there's no social media? Would you have changed the song back?
No.
Nah.
Okay, so it was all heat from social media.
Look, they would have they would have had that song to live with for the next 6 years.
That's fair.
Power Book 2, but now you're gonna live with the one that you got all the way through.
So you're never gonna change it.
They can live with that on TV.
Even when Tariq take over, you keeping the same Joe.
Same theme song. Don't ever fucking complain about that theme song again. Now you gotta live with it.
Now, last question, 50. You talk about there might be a time for you to make music again. I do feel like, the last few projects M has dropped, like I feel like what's missing is that element. Like when all of y'all were together, when you're working on new music, how do we get you, Dre, M, High Tech? You know what I'm saying?
Like what's ill is he sent me a record now. He's working now.
M did?
Yeah, he sent me a record now.
Thank God.
I feel like you could help A&R and M project, and like it might be the M album we want.
He got some things, man. Like still a highest selling rap artist in the world.
100%. 100%.
Hold on. Still the highest rap selling artist in the world?
Lyrically the greatest of all time. For sure.
Okay. It's cool.
So M album was coming with 50 Cent.
Yeah, that's something I'm doing them now. But then and Osuna.
Oh. Yeah, see, that's the kind of shit I don't want to hear, man.
Okay.
I'm telling you, you gotta hear it first.
I'm like, dog, like, for what? Eminem's doing a song with Ozuna?
No.
Oh,
Ozuna.
He said or sooner. He from New York.
Okay. All right.
It's 50 Cent.
He wants to. You don't want to hear Eminem or Ozuna?
No. Who would want to hear that?
You bugging, yo.
Listen, Fifth. I want to. Look, I'm gonna tell you, man. I just want my favorite era of rap.
When
growing
you hear
up,
the records, though, when you hear the record sonically, what it is, you go, oh, okay. I didn't know if I would want to hear a lot of records. Look at the artist combination, Future and Kendrick. They're so far apart. You go, I don't want to hear that shit.
Mm.
But then you go, nah,
Song was
I like
good.
this record.
good record.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like you go, and then this is when you start bridging audiences, and there's a Latin market out there.
Would you ever do a Get Rich or Die Trying sequel, or is that too much to live up to?
You know what?
The way Nas did Stillmatic.
You know what I do? Instead of sequel to the actual record,
Book 2. I want in on that.
Got rich.
Hey.
Didn't die trying.
Got rich and didn't die. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, because the climate is, look at how different the climate is, right? On that record, I'm telling you, I'm PIMP. Just can't get a dollar out of me. And right now, it's trick season.
West Coast.
It is trick season.
It is trick season. You get me? Like right now, things have changed so dramatically that they are super tricks. They're telling you you had the biggest Chanel in store if you want it.
Nah,
They're gonna take you. Look. You can have all of this. Drake took my 10 bands, and that's not because we together. That's just so.
It's tricking and it's
You know what I
doing
mean?
the
Like
drugs.
nah, I'm good.
No. This is just.
I know.
Not because we involved, just because he wants to get you to take gas. You know what I'm saying? It's a little different now.
I'm
That's
good.
fair.
Things are a little different. You got to write different content, but you know, it might be harder for them to digest the pimping when there's so much tricking going on.
Did you tap in with Drake's show, the Euphoria shit?
The
show Euphoria on your HBO, the Drake executive produced
I
it.
didn't see that.
Pretty good, man.
It's not bad.
You should check it out.
I'll check it out.
Yeah. Hey, well,
50, appreciate you.
You're a fucking legend, man. And yeah, thanks, man. Listen, Get Rich or Die Trying was something that changed my life as a kid, man. I remember walking into the warehouse and getting that. I remember having the special edition of the XXL magazine that was just all G Unit, and yeah, man. So salute, bro.
Appreciate
Thank you for everything, bro.
Hey,
Thank you, bro.
All right, good to meet you.
Hell yeah.